So yeah, I needed to make a quick dress for a dinner party. So this is what I made. And I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on how to make this dress. And you can always tweak yours to work for you according to the quantity of fabric you can get. My name is IJ Sparks Made. Welcome to my channel. And if this is your first time stopping by, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for joining. So I'm not going to do a detailed video on a basic dress pattern because I know that 99% of all of us know how to do a basic dress pattern. And of course, I may not use the method you're familiar with, but so far you already know how to do a basic dress pattern. You are good to go for this tutorial. So this is my basic pattern and I used the subtraction method for this. I'll be working with a 2 yards of uganza fabric and a leftover crepe fabric. Yes, a leftover. I just had to make this work because I did not have anything to wear for this occasion. So yeah, I just had to make this work. This was approximately a yard of crepe. You can imagine that. Yes, a yard of crepe. So this is me. I went ahead to transfer the pattern to fabric, and as much as I managed, I still had to do a little joining in the center front of the basic front bodice. Okay, so but I would advise you get at least 1.5 yard of crepe. Okay, that would be enough. 1.5 yard of crepe. Now to get this asymmetric neckline, I'll just go ahead to join the back piece with my needle, with my pins. But I think if you are strong enough and you don't want to go through all the stress of pinning, you can just take it to your machine and just run a stitch all the way down. Okay, so when I was done, I had to pin everything together just so that the whole back can be closed. Because we are trying to do an asymmetric back, I have to ensure that my whole back is closed so that I could place it with the front pattern or with the front bodice, so that I can cut out the neckline. Now this is very important because you do not want a situation whereby when you're done cutting, one side of the back will be the front and the other side will be the back. So it's very important that when you fold together, you place it front side facing the front side and then you cut. Now for how deep you want it to be, you can come down by 4.5 inch. I think that is ideal, or depending on how low or how high or how covered. But if you ask me, I would say that this is a very covered asymmetric neckline. So you can go deeper, you can go wider, and of course you can decide to use the round neckline instead of the you can decide to use a V neckline instead of the round neckline that I used here. Okay, so when I was done, I just had to do a little adjustment with my front bodies, just do a little adjustment. I had to also place it to see what it looks like. It is perfect. It might not look that way here because it is a subtraction method. There is a bust that to be held, and of course don't forget that we joined the center front part of it. Yes, it wasn't obvious at all throughout the events I attended. It wasn't obvious at all, and if I do not show you, you will not see. But please don't try this, don't do what I did. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is cut the strap that I'll be using on one side of the sleeves. Yes, I'll be cutting the strap I'll be using on one side of the sleeves. I'm using a total of 5.5 and a total length of 4 inches. Okay, a total length and width of 5.5 and 4 inches. Now when I'm done with it, I'll have to take it and place to be sure. So I had to reduce the parts joining the armhole. I had to reduce it so that when I'm done turning this strap, it will not be wider than the armhole area. Okay, so but don't forget that the width is 4 inches, but I had to reduce the tip. That is the part that will be going towards the armhole area. And when I was done, I carried my cotton lining to cut out a lining piece for the strap. Yes, I'm cutting out a lining piece for the strap because I want it to be neat. You can actually pipe it. You can actually just do it the way I did it here. it will still come out beautiful. And when I was done with all of this, I still went ahead to cut lining for my armhole side. Remember I said I did an asymmetric. So you can decide to replace yours with a bead, or you can just work with what I did here. But for me, I did an asymmetric neckline. So I'll just go ahead and cut the facing for the armhole area. I'll cut the facing for my neck area. Okay, so however you want to do yours, it's totally up to you. But for me, I prefer to use the whole facing because it gives it this boutique look. So after doing this, next thing I'm going to do is just cut out the facing as well for my upper bodice. So please, if you watched this video so far and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, kindly do so, as this will mean a whole lot to me. Now when I was done cutting off all of my facing, the next thing I'm going to do is cut my uganza piece. Remember I bought 2 yards of uganza. Now on the page, on the profile of this tutorial, you would see that their dress went really high up. Now this is the trick. You're going to work with exactly what I did here, but you're going to take your organza all the way close to the hip area, maybe like 2 inches close to the hip area. Because of the time constraints and the availability of material, I had to work with what I had. Okay, I just ordered this organza, and I wasn't even the one that went to the market to get it. I just had to make a dress, so I thought of doing a tutorial with it. So but if you need the exact look of what this dress should be like, and if you want to explore, please, your organza should go all the way to 2 or 3 inches below your hip point. Yes, so if you want to do what exactly is on my thumbnail, your organza should be below your knee point 2 or 3 inches. So I used a length of 7 inches, and I will be sewing on this organza from the midpoint. So I used a length of 7 inches for my organza cut, and I was able to get about 8 pieces of it from this 2 yards fabric. Yes, I was able to get about 8 pieces of it from this 2 yards fabric. So I would advise that you get at least 4 yards if you need a lot, like if you need that high up fullness. Okay, you can get at least 4 yards or 5 yards. And so if you can see here, I went ahead to do my joining. I had joined my fabric together, and I want to now turn my strap. So after joining the upper bodies, I went ahead to turn the strap. And when I was done turning the strap, the next thing I did was to prepare my skirt as well and joined to the main dress. Yes, I prepared my skirt and joined to the main dress, and this is what the dress looks like. You can see that it's already looking beautiful. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is fix up this strap. Remember that we cut out a facing here, so I'm going to be fixing this strap inside and using the facing to close it up, because I do not want it to have any rough edge. I'll just fix it inside and use the facing to close up. Or you can just fix up your strap and pipe. If you did not cut a facing for yours, you can easily fix up your strap and cut. Okay, so I did the same thing. I joined my strap on both ends. Make sure that the front of the fabric is facing the front of your dress and not the other way around. So I would advise that you pin it. If you're not so sure, pin it first and check before you sew, so that you don't go ahead and sew it on the wrong side. Okay, now when I'm done, I'll go straight to fixing my organza to my dress. Now remember that I said I got 2 yards, and I was able to cut out 8 pieces. I will be joining the 2 yards together to get 4 yards if I need the fullness that I want. So I went ahead to join 2 yards to 2 yards, and then when I was done with this, I went ahead to draw gathers on it. Yes, I did not want to go through the process of the pleating. I feel like the gathers will just give me that accuracy. One side will not be fuller than the other side. I mean, except you sit down and pleat separately before transferring it to the dress. But I feel like the organza saved me all of that time, because I went ahead to, draw the gathers and then measure the area that I'll be placing my organza on. After measuring the area and I realized that I have 38, I will pull my organza to get that number, to get the figure that I measured. So I'll pull my organza, and when I'm satisfied with it, I will just adjust it, and then arrange it to be good and nice, and I will go ahead and sew it on top of my dress. Yes, remember they're working with this on the hem part, so I'll go ahead, prepare it, and then start sewing it on top of my dress. Now I just took my time to spread it out so that some parts will not be smaller than the other. Another thing I want to say is that make sure you did your gathers on the center of the inches you're working with. So whether 7 or 8 inches, make sure that you're doing it on the midpoint of the organza, so it can be 7 inches is a total of 3.5. If you know you won't get it, I'll advise you use a chalk and just rule out that midpoint line so that your organza will stick. Now, how I ended up filling up the whole organza is that I kept pushing it onto each other as closely as possible. Yes, so after sewing this step, you can sew as many as I did, a total of 4 steps, but you can do as much as 10 steps. Yes, as much as 10 steps, just to get that result that is on the thumbnail. You can do as much as 10 steps. This is the second steps, and if you look at it very well, you will see that I placed it very close to the first one. Yes, no spacing at all, very close. All right, so this is basically all, and this is me rocking the beautiful dress. Remember that it can go as high as you want it, okay, just to get that exact look. And this is me all ready to step out, all ready for my event this evening. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have subscribed to my channel. All right, see you on my next video, guys. Bye.